Good evening and welcome to the Manchester United Matchday -1 UEFA Europa League 2025 final press conference. We're joined by players Bruno Fernandes and Harry Maguire, as well as coach Ruben Amorim. Questions please in either English, Spanish or Basque, and answers will be given in one of the same languages. Over to you.
Thanks. Simon.
Hi, Ruben. Just wondering how the team's looking. We saw Euro training earlier and Delo and Xerxes. I don't think we were expecting him to be involved when you said he was out for the rest of the season. So what's the situation there?
Me neither. So they recover quite well. They push. Of course, we respect the feeling of the player, but we push a little bit because they wanted to be part of the team, and that is a very, very good sign. And it's very good for us. Of course, they are limited in the minutes for the game, but they can help us to win the game. The league is out.
Simon.
Hi, Ruben. This has been such a strange kind of season with victories in Europe and then disappointing defeats and some harsh comments. What are your views on this game and whether it would mask what's happened over the last few months or whether it would give you a new future?
A new future for me, I think, is not the case, but it's going to help us to finish the season. People will look at our team in a different way because winning a European title is really important. But again, nothing is going to change our season. Players know, everybody knows, the staff knows, the fans knows. But winning a European title can help us to have that feeling that can help us to build the future.
Dave.
You've spoken very honestly about this season, the challenges on and off the pitch, with the cutbacks at the club and the redundancies. I know you're not thinking this way, but if you were to lose tomorrow, that may lead to more kind of issues like that. So in that sense, are you playing for just more than yourselves tomorrow night? Are you playing for the futures of staff and a much bigger cause?
Again, I think it's not the case. We are doing things that we need to do it. But for example, I came from the club that in order to survive and to maintain players, you need to be in Champions League. This is not the case. Our club can have revenues without Champions League. It's a big club. It's a massive club with a lot of fans around the world. It's a big brand. So we just need to be focused and do the things in the right way. So I don't see like that, but I'm always playing for more than myself. I'm coaching for my players, for my staff, and especially for our fans.
Rob.
Bruno, if that's okay. I know there's lots of talk around this game, getting into the Champions League, the revenues, all that kind of stuff, and all the players and the manager have been very cautious about calling it a successful season. But there's only been 5 United captains who have lifted a European trophy, and that beyond everything, it feels like there is a chance for this team, for one of your players to make history tomorrow night.
No, obviously we know, we talk about the Europa League, and the Europa League is everything that is in our minds because we play the final tomorrow, and we can be successful in the Europa League, in this competition. Obviously we know in the Premier League we haven't been as good as we want, and all the other cups the same, because our aim is always to get into the end of the competitions and win the trophies. Obviously, as you said, I'm not here thinking that I'm going to be one of the captains lifting the European trophy. Obviously, it's a very good feeling. I'm very proud of it. But at the same time, for me, the main thing is that our team gets to bring the trophy back to Manchester, because everyone will have the time to lift the trophy one at a time or whatever. The main thing is that the red shirts lifting that trophy.
We'll take one over there.
Viaplay Norway. Question for the player and the manager. Tottenham, they have rested players into this game. Your build-up has been to play the best players to the best team. What kind of advantage do you feel you will get into this game by that build-up, that preparation for the game?
The advantage I don't know is you have to see the context. I don't know the context of Tottenham. What I know is that we had the last game against Bilbao. We had that game, and then we rest some players because of we were afraid of some injuries, and then we had a full week to prepare the game. And I felt with 5 days to the final, the best thing to prepare the final is to give time to the players to play. So I cannot respond from the side of Tottenham, but for me it was really clear. We need to compete. The best way to prepare something is to compete, and I had that feeling, and I pushed the players against West Ham in the end of the game, and I felt that against Chelsea we should show something, and to prove that when we are focused, when we play our game, we can control any game in any place. So it was a good day to compete, to prepare the final. That was the idea.
Okay, one over there.
Hola, buenas tardes. Tengo una pregunta para Bruno Fernández. Me gustaría formularla en euskera, si es posible. No sé si tenéis que colocaros.
No, yo entiendo.
¿Entiendes en vasco?
¿En vasco?
Sí, por eso. Te digo que me gustaría formularla
en español,
en
sí, en
euskera.
vasco no.
Bi gol sartu zenituen finalerdietan hemen San Mamesen. Uste duzu bihar bi gol sartuta ere, zuk sartuta, nahikoak izango dira titulu altxatzeko?
I think the translator that no entiende vasco tampoco el traductor.
Puedo reformularla en castellano, si quieres. Es una pena porque quería también hablar en nuestro propio idioma, en el idioma de aquí de Euskadi. Te decía que hace pocas semanas en semifinales marcaste 2 goles aquí en San Mamés. Si crees que volver a repetir una actuación así, un doblete tuyo, podría servir para levantar el título mañana.
Ojalá, más que el doblete, el resultado que hemos obtenido. Obviamente un contexto muy diferente. Obviamente jugamos contra un equipo que no había sufrido muchos goles. Poder marcarles 3 goles aquí no es muy común. El ambiente en el estadio estaba increíble. Fue uno de los mejores ambientes en que he jugado. Pero obviamente mañana más feliz por tener más gente del United para ayudarnos y para que pongamos todo en el partido para obtener el resultado más positivo, que es ganar esta final.
Paul.
Question for Bruno, please. Hi, not in Basque. Manchester United is obviously a club that's got a rich kind of history in Europe. You're an ambitious player. You always want to play at the top level. How important is it for you and the squad and the club as a whole that you are back at that kind of top table next year?
It's very important. That I think the manager is being very clear with that. We want to be at the top of everything, not only the Europa League, not only the Premier League. We want to be at the top of the FA Cup, Carabao Cup, everything we are involved. This club needs to be fighting for everything we have ahead of us. Obviously, knowing that it's not always possible to be in the finals, it's not always possible to be winning trophies. But our aim and our goal has to be always to be until the end of the competitions, fighting for the possibility of winning trophies, and that's what we want. Tomorrow we have a big chance in a competition where our aim since the beginning of the season was being in Bilbao on the final, and everything we have to focus is that we have a big game, a big final, and a big opportunity to get a silver there.
Samuel.
Hi, Ruben. One of the main reasons that the club won a trophy last season in the FA Cup final was that Bruno's position changed and Rasmus Højlund didn't start the game. Have you given any consideration to playing the team without a striker, or do you not think your system is geared for that?
Our system is a normal system that can change the characteristics. It's not about the playing as a striker or without a striker. It's a system like any other that you can change the characteristics. But it doesn't matter what happened in the last final, because it was a different team, different competition, different context, so everything was different. I just focus on the way we play, the way Tottenham play, what we can do to be better than the last two games. So that was my focus, and not the last time that we won a cup.
Alex.
Question for Harry. Winning 3 trophies in 3 seasons would be a great achievement, but I think one of the things that frustrates the United fans is that this team seem to have the capability to turn into performance in these big finals and big matches, but not week in, week out. Is that a frustration that's shared in the dressing room, and how would you solve that moving forward?
Yeah, of course it's a frustration. I think when you play for this club, you want to win every football match, and this season we've been far too inconsistent. We haven't won enough in the Premier League. It's not been good enough. We know that. The Europa League has been different. We've performed at a high level, and we have proven again this season that we can beat anybody. So, no, I'm sure next season we will improve an awful amount, a full pre-season, and as players we are looking forward to that. But we've got a big game tomorrow night, and that's first and foremost, and it's a special night, it's a special occasion, and we've prepared well the last few days, and it's one that we're looking forward to.
Take one over here.
Another question for Harry. My name is Omar Katuba, omarsports.com. How does it feel like to be performing and earning the plaudits of Manchester United fans once again after a very toxic beginning?
No, it's amazing to be back in the team and playing regularly. Yeah, this season I've played a lot of football. But yeah, I think I don't take too much notice of the plaudits from the media and things like that. I think when you play for this club, you can be an amazing player, and the following week you can be the villain. So that's part and parcel of playing for this club. I don't read too much into it. I try and stay as level as I can, and just every game I go into it and try and do my best, and that's only what you can do.
Chris.
Bruno, please. Hi, Bruno. Just following on from Paul's question before, you played in some big games at this club over the past 5 years or so. In terms of what's at stake this season and at stake next season, how big does this game compare to other ones so far?
No, every game that you have a chance to win a trophy is very big. But a part of that, every game at this club is massive. As Harvey just said, this club is so big that from 1 week you can be the hero and the next one you're the villain. So we just play as a players. We just think of what we have ahead of us, and what we have ahead of us is a chance to get our hands on a trophy. It won't change the past. It won't affect what the past has done to us on tomorrow neither. But what can affect is the future, probably. Yes, obviously winning a competition gives you more, gives a lot of things. In this case, you get a place in the Champions League. It gets a lot of revenue for the club. It gets obviously more players wanting to come to the club. What I think that at this club, it doesn't change much in that aspect, because I think every player wants to play for Man United, and it's a thing that will never change, because the name of this club, it speaks for himself. But the main thing for us is to focus on what we have ahead of us. That is a massive final against a team that we know very well, but in a competition that is very different of the Premier League. So it's going to be a completely different game.
One at the back.
Question for Harry. Harry, in recent games, we've seen some really inspirational moves from you. I mean, your dribbles on the wing, your runs against Athletic Bilbao, for example. Is that some new part of tactical system, or is that your pure courage, inspiration, or something like that? Thanks.
The manager asked me dribbling every day in training up and down the wing. No, listen, I found myself on the wing against Bilbao, managed to put a good cross in, and Casa scored the goal. But no, someone just asked me before that. Obviously, I've gone up front in the later minutes of the game. Tomorrow night, hopefully, I'm not going up front. I don't want to be going up front and chasing a game. I want to be defending a lead from my position in defence. So, no, I'm always there to help. I'm always there to do my best. But like I said, I'm more than happy playing in my favourite position.
Ian.
Ruben, hello.
Hey.
You sat on that stage 3 weeks ago and you said that winning could change the summer, but it wouldn't necessarily fix the problems. Just wonder, how big are those problems and how long will it take to fix them?
I think it's hard to speak about that in this moment because we need to be excited and confident. But we already know the problems. There's a lot of things that we need to change in our club, the way we do everything during the week in Carrington, the recruitment, the academy. I think we need to improve. So it's hard to point one thing, and that will not be solved by winning a cup. So I think I will say it again. For me, we have bigger things to deal with to put this club back to the top. Tomorrow, it will be important for us, for our fans. That feeling of winning can help us to have the strength to do every job that we have to do it. And that's it. So we have a lot to do in our club, not just winning tomorrow, but tomorrow will be massive for us and our fans.
Okay, we need to get these guys to dinner, so we'll take one more on each side, starting there.
Hi, Ruben. Ange Postecoglou has just been in here answering questions about whether he might still be in his job, whatever the result tomorrow. Are you sort of surprised, grateful that you don't seem to be under the same kind of pressure, despite the fact that your team has a similar record
He
to
is.
Spurs?
Who told you he's not? He is.
He wants my job. He'll be a very, very good coach. But he has to work on it in his mindset. He doesn't know how to deal with people. No. I don't know. I know that in this kind of club, also in Tottenham, but especially Manchester United, is strange because you have some coaches that loses some games and they are sacked. It's hard to explain. I think people see what we are trying to do. I think people see that sometimes I'm thinking more in the club than in myself. People understand, especially the board, understand that we had a lot of issues that in the context is really hard. So I don't know how to explain. I don't know how to explain how the fans like me in this moment. So it's hard to explain. I will try to prove myself to the fans, to the board, but I don't have an explanation for you. But again, I think is a good thing for me. I never worry about that. That is a part of being a coach. And the most important thing, I know what I'm doing. And I explain everything. Again, before, when we start, I explain about the storm. I explained all the problems that we have to the board. So I was so clear. I explained that I will not change my idea. So they know they cannot say one thing that I said to get the job and then I changed my mind. Was the opposite. I think the board can understand that. The fans can understand that. But we will reach a moment that we have to win no matter what. So I don't have an explanation for that.
Last question, Laurie.
Just one for Ruben. I just wondered how much of an influence extra time and penalties comes into your reckoning when you're making that starting selection tomorrow, because you've got a few options in different positions, it seems.
No, I just think the best starting 11 to start a game. Then it's really important to have options on the bench to change the game. Sometimes it's really important to win a final. I'm not thinking about going to extra time. Of course, we have that possibility, but we never think about that. Maybe in the final minutes you have two substitutions. One, you wait for the extra time, that you can have to think about the possibility. But in the beginning of the game, I just want to win the game really fast. But we know, and we prove against Lyon, if we have to score 3 goals in 6 minutes, we are able to do it, especially with our fans on the stadium.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.